We had a big weekend. It was what we had hoped for state. It started out with the heptathlon. Ethan Miller, I mentioned him, I think the week before, last week, heading into this. He's a very, very talented athlete. And so he got dinged up at our very first meet, the home opener on the 12th. And he was just pretty much rehabbing since then. He did very little. We got him a little bit prepared on Monday of this past week, and then again on Wednesday, and then on Thursday and Friday he did his heptathlon, and he was fantastic. Put up the 6th best score in the country, and he's number 2 all time at Northern Iowa, and there's a lot more there. So we're excited. I mean, we still got to keep him healthy, and we've got conference coming up, but very excited about him. He's like I said, he's one of the best in the country, and he's a lot better than what he showed during those 2 days. So thrilled with where he is. The rest of the meet, it went well. We had a lot of PRs, a lot of improvements, and kids moving up significantly on the descending order list for the conference. Angus Stout, he had a big high jump. He opened up at a bar that was his personal best, and he made it on his 3rd attempt, and then he made the next bar. So he's now ranked pretty high within the conference. So it was nice to see freshmen stepping up this late in the game. Derek Kramer continued to improve his 60 meters. He went 6:89. He's now number 2 in the conference in that event and looking very, very strong. It looks like we're going to have Carlos Anderson also participating in the 60 at the conference meet. Things were touch and go there. He's got a lot of things going on with the NFL, but it looks like we're going to go ahead and do that, which is obviously we're excited about that. 2-time conference champion in the 60 meters. He's an important one. Jordan Garcia continued to improve. He lost his top spot in terms of his ranking in the conference in the 400. He lost it for about 20 minutes, and then he ran his race and he took it back. So it was a lifetime PR for him, indoors and outdoors. So he continues to impress us and improve every week. Jessie Davenport had a big breakthrough. He had a rough week last week at Notre Dame, but this week he came back strong with a great attitude, and he's sitting number 3 now in the conference in the 400. Sam Cameron, she's coming along right at the right time, which is what she tends to do. She's our best female quarter miler, and she had a big race and did very well, and so she moved up. I think she took about 2 seconds off her seasonal best, so she's sitting where we needed her to be sitting heading into the conference meet. And Sebastian Barth also had another good 60 hurdles race. He's getting better and better every week, and so he's right now number 3 in the conference, but he's 2-3 is about where he should be at this point in his development. Both relays did very well. The women really improved, I think by maybe 4 seconds over last week, and they really stuck their noses in it and did a good job, and they moved up where they're sitting in the conference. The men also improved. We weren't at full strength in the 4x4, but we still ran a seasonal best and improved our conference score. We're still number 1 in the conference by over a second now, but to have that level of depth to move people in and out and still be improving overall is a big deal heading into the conference. Throws, again, were very impressive. Justin Baker, his first 2 throws were both personal bests. He's sitting number 2 in the conference now in the shot put, and so he's looking exciting. Kelsey Sukavati became the number 2 female athlete that has ever gone over 50 feet in the shot put for Northern Iowa. She was thrilled, so big PR for her, and she also obviously moved up in the conference. And Jordan Williams also won his section of the weight throw, just off of his personal best. Those guys, as expected, look very good and look to be ready for the conference meet. The distance events, we had a kid named Calvin Kibbe, and I may have mentioned him last week. I love this kid. He was really on nobody's radar when he came to us. His coach, he went to Iowa Central Community College, and his coach would mention this kid's really interested. But his marks were just probably not ready for this level. So, we weren't really recruiting him, but he kept saying, hey, this kid's, I think he might be pretty good. You got to look at him, and so we did, and we liked what we saw. So we recruited him a little bit, and he came and decided to be a Panther. And I mean, this kid is annihilating his personal bests every week. And he ran the mile this week and it was a race that I'm really glad I was paying attention because it was a great one to watch. He took the lead with on his last lap in the mile, and he's on the back stretch, and he's all in. I mean, he's kicking, and the race is on. Kid from another school passed him down the back stretch, and then started to extend his lead. Now, if you paid any attention to distance running or middle distance running, usually when that happens, the kid that gets passed starts to fade, and their form starts to go, and that's what you expect to see. And so the kid extends his lead to about 5 meters, and all of a sudden that gap starts to decrease again. I've never seen this in my whole career. He made a second run on the kid, and then closed the gap through the end of the turn, and then the home stretch passed him and ran him down and ran a huge PR in the mile. And he's fairly high in his ranking for the conference. But that's what I love to see. I want all of our kids to have the Calvin Kibbe attitude, because you just can't, you got to be really good to beat a kid like that, because he's never going to give up. And he's done that in every one of his races, and he's just thrilled to be out there as a Panther. Couldn't be happier to be competing, and I don't know how good he's going to be at the conference, but I look forward to watching his race, because he's certainly going to give us the best that he's got. Scotty Schoen, she also ran a PR in the mile. She's number 5 now all time for the women, so that was terrific to see. Allison Fick continues to improve. She ran another big PR in the 3,000, so she's ready. Emily McCarthy, I've mentioned her before this year. She's another one that her story is terrific. She came in, well, it was my first year. She was a freshman, and she had kind of a rough freshman year, and she was pretty good out of high school, but things were not easy for her. She just made up her mind, though, last year that she's going to get really serious and really focused, and she has been just terrific. Just terrific. She's setting PRs all over the place. Every week she's setting PRs. She set another one in the 800 meters, and she's also now a very important member of the 4x4, which is something she hasn't been able to do in the past. So to see her development is really exciting for me. And then finally, Antoine Parish, another kid. I mentioned him last week because he took 2 seconds off his PR. He took another 2 seconds this week. And then just for good measure, we put him on our B 4x4, and he ran great. He ran great. He is now a legitimate contender to get onto our A 4x4, which is a tough relay to get onto. But yeah, he's now ranked fairly high in the conference in the 800, and don't bet against this kid. I mean, he's starting to redefine himself as an athlete, and he's got a lot of talent. So I think in the future you're going to be hearing a lot about Antoine Parish. This Friday we've got the Dome Open. It'll be a low-key affair that starts in the afternoon and then finish around 7 o'clock. Just some final races for kids to make sure they're ready for following week at conference. And we'll have probably 8 to 10 kids who are that are on the bubble of making that roster of 32 that will be showing us what they've got in that Friday night. So if you get a chance, come out and check them out. Are there any questions?
When do the predictions come out for conference or rankings?
They should come out, I think they come out the beginning of conference week. So not this week, but the following week. I haven't been.
What would you see UNI men or women?
Well, I've been studying it just a little bit, and Indiana State is a team to beat on the men's side. Okay, Wichita State has had 2 big weeks in a row, so they're also a very strong contender. We're very good, and Southern just this past week is really improved quite a bit as far as the rankings go. It's hard to say how it's going to shake out. I would say Indiana State should be ranked first. If people are paying attention, they should be. And by the numbers, it'll be either us or Wichita State, depending on how the other coaches vote. But even Southern, you don't want to go to sleep. It's typically these 4 teams for the men always fighting it out. These are the strong programs. For the women, I think Indiana State probably is who I would pick, just because they're very well coached and they're a strong team. But Wichita State is another team that always shows up to the meet. And Southern, their depth has really been impressive over the past couple of years. So, hard to say how. I don't know how much coaches pay attention to these rankings, to be honest with you. I think people pay attention to the top ranking, and then after that, I think they're not going to spend a whole lot of time thinking through it, they're just kind of writing. With track, with that many events, we'll probably be ranked around 5th, maybe 6th on the women's side. We have redshirted a couple of our top girls, so we're not where we would be if we hadn't, but but that's just a guess. Anything can happen on the day. Okay, thanks. Go Panthers.